and Chris Huckley here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, after the Division I Indoor Nationals, and happy that Brittany Borman's agreed to sit down for a little bit to talk about her Olympic experience in London. And she's the DeSoto, Missouri native and former state champ and multi-event superstar at Festus High School, and just finished her college career at the University of Oklahoma, and two-time national champ there in the javelin, and had just a phenomenal, exciting last day of the Olympic trials. We pulled off that last throw, pulled off a miracle of sorts, and a big PR, and earned that Olympic standard, and became national champion all in one. After that whole excitement, probably a week or two died down. When you look back to July, what were those thoughts and feelings like? Oh my gosh, this is it! I'm an Olympian. I'm going to be in the Olympics.
It was definitely a dream come true. I mean, it's something that every track athlete always wants to do, and that's what you train for. So to have it actually happen was awesome.
Yeah. And leading up to it, did you do? I'm trying to think. Did you compete in Europe 1 meet or two, or no competitions to the Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just went back and trained.
Yeah. And what was the planning for? I know big turnout, big group of support at the trials for you, with a group of 10 or so that were out there with family and coaches and stuff. But what were the plans for London? Let's see, just mom and dad, or did Brianne and Danny both make it?
They did.
Okay.
And Vince made it out too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
Coach
right.
Bingham.
But tell me, did you guys have training camp up in
They had
Binghamton?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, but we didn't make it. My coach was actually in Maine for the summer with his family.
Okay.
So we kind of followed him around all summer.
Sure,
so we
sure.
keep training.
And when you finally got to London, what anything notable there with it, with the team and training before you actually got to close to competition?
It was really neat. They actually had like a separate facility for U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of had a nice place to train where our coaches could all come and help us out. It was really good.
And what was it like having Tia Brooks there, your Oklahoma teammate, who in the shot put made the team in the shot put? Tell me what that was like, and getting to share that experience with her.
Oh yeah, it made it a lot better. I mean, we're really good friends, so having that person that's been there with you throughout the years, go and compete in the same meet was really nice.
And with Coach Blutrick and his wife, I believe both previous Olympians.
Yeah.
Am I correct? What do you remember? Any advice that they had given you about soaking it all up, or just anything that they told you to?
They pretty much just said that, just go over there and act like it's another meet and kind of take everything in and enjoy the experience. And
tell me about the opening ceremonies. I know I've seen. Mom sent me the picture of you and the fastest man ever together. Tell me just what that was like, the opening ceremonies.
It was really neat to go in and see all the different countries there, and it was definitely an experience of a lifetime. And then to meet some of those athletes was just unbelievable.
Anybody else you got photos with, besides Usain Bolt?
A couple of the basketball players.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any fan of any other big sports that people that you kind of look up to, would like an autograph or that type of thing?
It was cool to see Michael Phelps, because you see him on TV all the time, and all the golds he's won. So
yeah,
just everybody, just to be a part of it was really neat.
Right. Well, what were the as you moved up to closer and closer to competition day? How were the nerves? Were those going to all-time high, or were you relaxed, enjoying yourself, and just planning to go out there and try to give it your best and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I did, because if I would have thought about it, I would have been overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I just kind of put it out of my mind until I got there.
Yeah. So you think you handled that pretty well?
I think so. I mean,
what about your family and fiance at the time? What did you sense? Did you see any anxiety from them that even felt like they were more anxious about it than you were?
Not really. I mean, we went to a lot of different events, so we did a lot of things that kind of kept our mind off of it.
Yeah. Go sightseeing or
Yeah, we did.
Did you get to see the other events?
Yeah, we went to cycling and a couple other things, but
Okay.
it was a new experience.
And then tell me about the getting to the stadium and for the Jav, the first round of the prelims and getting into the stadium. Anything that you remember as you walked in and got ready and warmed up?
I think that's kind of when the nerves hit. Once you walked into the stadium, you saw everyone there. I mean, it was just kind of hit you all at once.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How was the stadium? Was that pretty
Oh, it was
impressive?
awesome.
I
Yeah.
mean, on TV it was pretty amazing.
It was huge. And
Yeah.
there wasn't an open seat.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm trying to think. Were you in the first flight?
Yes.
Okay, first flight, and let's see, the top 12 advanced.
Yeah.
And tell me remind me how walk through those three throws and what happened and what you were thinking and feeling, or.
The first one actually slipped out of my hands. I think it probably would have been my best throw.
Okay.
And then after that.
Was that one? Do you remember what that mark was?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It wasn't very good though.
Yeah.
And then I hit the 194, and I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the standard to get into the Olympics is so tough, and I mean it should be. As you at that just over 200 feet mark, but then that 194 mark stood up for 15th, 16th overall.
Oh yeah.
And really, just a foot and a half away, I believe, 16 or 19 inches from making that final.
Yeah.
Did you think that could have gotten you in the final, or were you thinking that if you were consistent and had 3 decent throws, maybe close to that 200 mark, that you'd have a good chance to get in the finals, or what was it thinking going in?
I just want to go in and do my best. I mean, everything was new and just the experience of being there. So we just kind of let it go and
didn't really think about what it would probably take to get you to the finals.
No, I mean we talked about it before, but yeah, I wasn't really trying to focus on it.
Yeah, what was the discussion like? Did you think it would be right around 200 or mid 190s or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then obviously, I think saw the webcast or the broadcast and with you and going over to talk to Coach on the side, and apparently he was able to get down pretty close. Was he close enough to be in your sight line or see him? Or
He was. He's right next to my coach.
Okay. Did that make it more?
Made it more comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good then, because some people would say, no, I don't. Athletes would no, I don't want to even see you. Talk to me after it's over, after I showered and cleaned up. But so that was a good, calming, relaxing.
It was.
Okay. Cool. And I'm sure it was pretty neat for him also.
Oh yeah.
So. Didn't get kicked out or thrown into London jail with police.
No.
Or,
Might have been stuck there for a while.
Yeah. But so after 3 throws were done, 194. What were you thinking as the next flight was headed up? What did you feel?
I was nervous because I really want to make that final, but I knew whatever was supposed to happen would happen, and just wasn't the day. Yeah.
And that's the sport. I mean, we saw it here over the last 2 days at NCAA. Is that you can have even somebody who's a favorite by far and away can just be off a little bit, and you can't really predict, or it's all about just what happens that day, and you can't really. It's hard to control. You just hope that you're at your best. But and then once you saw that you weren't advancing, were you upset? Were you at peace with it? Or what? And frustrated at first? What?
I was a little upset. I mean, it was hard not to be.
Yeah.
That was the goal going there, was to make the final.
Yeah.
But it was fun to be able to watch the final when it happened, and kind of I learned a lot from it, and watching the other girls compete.
Right. And tell me just what it was like. Did you ever stop and catch yourself and look around the stadium or look around and say, like, these are the best athletes in the world, and I'm here and in competition with them? Did that ever hit you? Did you ever get to kind of step back out of yourself and take that in at all?
I mean, I definitely took in the experience. Yeah.
But did it ever hit you that, oh my gosh, I'm where I've dreamed of being forever. Did any of that happen in the stadium while you were
I'd
in
have to say when
competition?
I walked in
Yeah.
to compete, just whenever I took the step into the stadium and looked around, I was like, wow,
Right.
this is a dream come true.
Yeah, yeah. What's the biggest memory that you have from it taken away, leaving?
Definitely competing
Okay.
and being there. We got to go around and sightsee and just kind of do everything in London, and then after we got to go to Hungary.
Okay.
So it was neat.
Now, during anything that you picked up or learned, or during the competition, or that you saw from other athletes, or anything that you'll take away from, this is at big international meets, something that you learned or some new experience that, we've never had to do this in a meet before. Anything that stands out that you remember at all?
Probably the warm up. I mean, they have you at a different facility. You have to warm up really early and then kind of wait around. So I kind of watched what the other girls were doing and saw some different exercises you can do to stay warm. And
Sure.
people brought in some different bands and stuff.
Yeah.
So just little things like that.
And this is your second time wearing the USA uniform, is that right?
Yes.
Was it the Pan Am Games or
NACAC.
the NACAC?
Yeah.
And hopefully the first of many, or the first and second of many. But tell me what it was like to be able to experience that with your family there. I know you talked about before how you've had such a great support system for the last 10, 12 years plus, and tell me what that was like to share that with that close small group.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, to have my coach there, Coach Bingham, that's been there since I was 6 years old. That got me into track. And then my mom and dad and sisters. It really made the experience that much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my husband, too.
Yeah. And survived, and let's see, and that was it. You didn't compete right rest of the season?
Yeah, that
after
was
the
it.
Olympic. Okay.
Yeah.
And then came back here and got back to school and then had a wedding. Tell me, was that as nerve-wracking and anxious as the Olympics? Or?
It was.
Oh, okay.
It was.
But you survived and apparently had to enjoy a honeymoon not on the beaches of some Caribbean island, but back in
classroom.
Norman, back in school. So,
Yeah.
Tell me just about what's coming up next for you. Obviously, being a professional now, obviously after NCAA's, you signed with an agent and signed with Nike. And tell me what the life of a professional athlete is like as you're still finishing school.
Yeah, I mean, not much has changed. I'm with the same coach. I'm still in class. Probably the biggest difference is going to be going to meets and my coach not being there.
Yeah.
But it's great that I have a husband, Boldy, who can come and kind of show me the same type of things.
Right. And go ahead and pronounce his name for him. He just did it for us. Go ahead and try that before I mess it up again.
Okay, Couture, Boldy
Okay.
Couture.
Okay. And obviously you guys met at UCLA and thrower there, and was back in his hometown of San Diego to coach there, I guess. And both of you guys are in Norman now. And what's your schedule like, Trent? Will you ever pick up a discus again?
No. I'm done with the disc.
Done with the disc. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question. Well, then what about the hammer? I don't think you ever picked up a hammer. Any thoughts of, hey, picking that up and trying that?
No.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah. Well, tell me, just looking forward to the 2013, obviously the World Championships in somewhere in Europe, I think, this year.
Russia.
Oh, is it Russia? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your outlook on 2013?
We're kind of going for hitting the A standard this year because no one has it right now, so they have to hit that in order to make it.
Is it?
They raised it up actually.
Oh, even further than the Olympic standard from last year?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
62 meters now.
Okay, which is what, 204 maybe? 206?
202.
Okay, 202. And then, so you said you're headed out to Arizona for the Sun Angel meet. What about after that? Anything you want to?
We're doing Mount Sac and then some Diamond League meets.
Okay.
In Oregon and New York.
Okay. And what are you healthy? Training conditions? Everything's going good? Or
Yeah.
do you feel like you're where you're usually at, or let's say, do you feel like you're ahead of where you're normally at, or?
It's hard to say. I mean, we've worked on some new things this year, so I'm getting more and more comfortable with them.
Okay.
But I've got a great group to train with, so it's been really nice.
Well, tell me what it's like not being a part of a college team anymore. Not having to travel to meets every weekend. Tell me, it's probably a little bit less stressful or relaxing that you are on buses and planes every week, or to go compete. But what's that like?
It was definitely an adjustment to have everyone leave every weekend, and I'm just kind of still there waiting for outdoor to start. But
right.
It's been good.
Yeah. And we talked earlier about you really missing the multis and those, and except for maybe those long middle distance type runs. But what do you think event that you missed the most that you did previously and excelled at?
Honestly, it's probably the 800.
Oh, okay.
It's such a gutsy race, and I loved it.
It's really a personal challenge.
It was.
Yeah.
Love, hate.
Yeah.
Everything always comes down to the 800.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty exciting, but probably the exhaustion afterwards, falling to collapsing to the track, and that's probably not the part you missed though.
No.
Just the in race, but and what's it like now being a fan now of your sisters who are competing in college? Have you given them any advice, or anything that you've learned over the years? Have you always tried to guide them, or if they had been in good hands? Obviously they have been, but anything that you've tried to pass on to them to help them be even more successful?
No, I mean, we're just all really supportive of each other, so it's nice to be able to go and watch them compete, and they come and do the same.
What was funny at USA Indoors last week when Gwen Berry won the women's weight throw. Yeah. You've probably seen by now the tweet that I sent out, with her, being her at state for McClure High School, being all state in the triple jump, and I said something to the fact that who'd imagine a Missouri All-State high school jumper would turn into a U.S. national champ thrower, and well, obviously, I can't imagine that because you just did that last year in the jav.
Yeah.
But besides the 8, if any of the sprints or hurdles or jumps, any of those that you miss more than the others?
I kind of just missed the whole heptathlon, being able to compete in all those different events and within 2 days. But the way we train, we do a lot of jumping, we do a lot of running, so it just kind of offsets a little bit for me.
Well, and I mean, typically when people get into track and field is, somewhere in, middle school or as young teenagers, I think, oh, you're a big person, so you should be a thrower. You go, but I mean, you're a phenomenal athlete. The javelin is such a violent, athletic event. Tell me, what was it like when you get in there and get ready to run down the runway and fire that thing, 200 feet.
Oh yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. I mean, it's definitely takes a toll on your body when you're running and you have to stop, and it's fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any advice for young athletes that have been in track, or or looking to do the throws, or even pick up a javelin in the summer or when they get to college? Any thoughts or advice for them?
It's definitely something I would try. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Just if it's something you enjoy, to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, just your Olympic experience. What I'm sure memories for a lifetime, but you probably are focused on making it back in Brazil. I'm sure that's the big goal, is just to continue to improve and make those World Championships teams and Olympic Games, and being there right in the middle of things.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the time. Tell me, what the last 2 years have been like, in a couple words, the national titles and NCAAs, and then winning USA's and making the Olympic team. And could things have gone much better for you the last 2 years?
I mean, I've really enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people support me, so I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, it's sure fun to watch athletes excel and do so well, but it's even more enjoyable when the kind of quality person that you are. So I appreciate you being a humble and I think the young athletes are just a great example. I think we've got a lot of them in the sport, and so
Thank
sure
you.
appreciate your time, and congratulations on the great career so far, and hopefully lots more success to come.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Brittany.